month's final reconstruction is the story of a woman's disappearance, but it's a case police now treat as murder. Trevelyan Evans would be 53. Indeed, today's her birthday. But back in June, on a sunny afternoon, something extraordinary must have happened to her. Think back to June the 16th. England were playing Holland in the World Cup, and the Queen's official birthday was marked by trooping the colour. Were you in North Wales? If so, perhaps you can identify some of the people in our reconstruction, and indeed, maybe you saw Mrs. Evans.
Is this the sort of video you can put straight on the
machine? Yeah. My mother is very close to her family, and she had everything to live for, and I can't see her for 1 minute going away without telling anyone what she was going to do. And I think wherever she is, it's involuntary, it's against her will. So that's our main feelings, and that's why we're so worried.
Before she disappeared, she spent 3 days up in Rutherland in our holiday bungalow, which I was doing up or refurbishing, and she was very happy. You know, she liked working up there. She liked the garden.
Llangollen is at the heart of Welsh culture, home of the National Eisteddfod, and thousands of tourists come here every year. Trevelyan had lived here all her life. A year ago, she bought this bric-a-brac shop called Attic Antiques in Church Street. Collecting was a lifetime's hobby, and this was the realisation of a dream. Her slogan in the shop said, "I'll buy anything." And so she did, from locals, visitors and dealers who were passing through. It's 9:15 a.m, 2 days before her disappearance. A local housewife was walking past the shop and noticed Trevelyan in conversation with two men.
Hello. Come over and have a look. Got some nice bits of lace here. You're welcome to come in and have a look anyway.
What's thought to be the older of those two men was seen again with Trevelyan next day. He was described by Susan Knight, who works in the opticians, as distinguished. And Olga Pedder-Roberts agrees.
Well, it was a Friday morning. I looked through the window and Trevelyan passed with this man who was very well dressed, in a navy blue suit and a black briefcase. Trevelyan waved, and I just thought how lovely she looked that morning.
That evening at 8:30, David and Irene Pond were driving home down Castle Street.
We pulled up at the traffic lights at the top of Castle Street at its junction with the A5, and we saw Trevelyan standing in the doorway of the cafe.
She was standing in the doorway. She was stepping in and out with a piece of paper in her hand, looking down the street as if she was expecting someone to come up. But when I turned round, there was no sign of anybody. I kept looking at Trevelyan, waiting to acknowledge her, but she didn't seem to see me at all.
It's now next morning, 10 o'clock on Saturday, June the 16th, the day that Trevelyan went missing. Doreen Dolson's general store is just down from Trevelyan's own shop.
Just get a pint of milk.
Love. 32 pence, please. She got in her purse, she got a wad of note out in her hand, and then she went deep in the purse to get the exact money out.
I'll be able to have a cup of coffee now.
I could just do with one.
Thanks.
Thanks, love. Bye. I was going to say to her, watch your money, but I didn't like because you thought I was rude or something, you know. And I didn't really say anything. She just gave me the right money, and then she says, I'll go now and have a cup of coffee, and I didn't see her again.
Soon afterwards, a friend, Christine Burdett, dropped in.
Hello. Coffee?
Oh, yes, please.
You smelt it.
I haven't talent. Here, have a milk bottle for those.
Oh, they're lovely. I think I can stretch to a vase, though.
No.
It looks as though we've got an offer for the house in Market Street.
Oh, cheers.
So, an elderly couple, and they want to move in quite soon, I think.
That would be good, because the flat's almost ready, isn't it? I've been a close friend of Trevelyan's for 11 years now.
and she was happy, she looked fit, and she had lots of plans of things that she was going to do. I even popped back to the shop to remind her that we were invited to a party, and she was thrilled to be going, you know, and really wanted to go. There is no way she would have gone missing, that she would have gone away voluntarily. No way.
About 90 minutes later, 2 local men were driving down Church Street and saw Trevelyan lock up her shop and walk down towards the A5 and the centre of town. If she ever left the shop, she'd always leave a message saying how long she'd be gone. In fact, on busy Saturdays, she rarely left for more than a few minutes. But as the afternoon drew on, several customers who took items from boxes on the pavement found the door was bolted and posted money through the letterbox. The shop was never to reopen. Did Trevelyan go home? She was seen at 2:30 in Market Street, right beside her house, though no one saw her leave or enter. She was walking in the direction of her shop.
Hello.
Yet 5 minutes later, a woman like Trevelyan was seen walking in the opposite direction on the A5, heading out of town beside the park which runs along the River Dee. And a few minutes after that, Marion Hatton saw a woman on a public footpath that leads up from the river. If that was Trevelyan, why on a busy Saturday had she left her shop to walk down here? Then, just before 6, a woman driving up Church Street saw a man who looked to her suspicious standing outside Attic Antiques. She thinks the door to Trevelyan's shop was open. When Trevelyan's family came searching for her later that night, the door was locked. When eventually they got in, they found her compact open on the counter and her handbag still containing all her credit cards.
I think anyone could think about their own mother or their own father, and they know sometimes, you know, you can see things brewing up, but there is no way that she would go without saying anything. And, you know, we're just desperate to know what's happened, whether it be for the worse or for the better, but just to come to some sort of conclusion, because living like this is just terrible at the present time.
John Cook, you think this is for the worse? You think this is murder? Let's start eliminating some of the people we saw in that reconstruction. On the Thursday, that's the 14th of June, there were the 2 people outside her shop, probably quite innocent, nothing to do with this. Tell us what we know about them.
Yes, very briefly. The first man, as you know, came from the tannery. He's the younger man, about 30 years of age, modern dress, wearing a dark suit with the sleeves rolled up, dark hair which appeared gelled. The older man was about 65 years of age, had grey hair, casually dressed, an aquamarine jumper with a paisley tie, and he was in conversation with Mrs. Evans.
OK, now the next day, that's Friday the 15th of June, isn't it? There was another man seen with her. It might have been actually one of the guys from the day before, we just don't know. But you've got quite a good description of this chap.
Yes, we have. It's possibly the previous man. Now, he's described as being very smartly dressed in a dark suit or a dark blazer, brown hair going grey, about 5'10", stockily built, and he was carrying a briefcase in his left hand.
A bank manager like, or an insurance salesman. I think somebody's put him, possibly an antiques dealer. And I gather you've got new evidence about this man today.
Yes, we have. Fresh evidence now suggests that the same man may well have been in Gale's Wine Bar in Castle Street, Llangollen, later that same evening.
Now, the day she disappeared, the evening after she vanished at 6 o'clock, was that chap seen with the car outside her shop. I should stress the witness isn't sure if the door was open or not. It might have been shut.
That's correct. The door may well have been open, but the witness is not sure. He was leaning against the car. She had a shoulder view only of him, and he was wearing what appeared to be a Macintosh with wide lapels.
OK, now if that was you, for heaven's sake, do ring us up. What else do you need to hear? What else can help with this inquiry?
I think it's most important to stress that this is a murder inquiry. We're aware that Mrs. Evans had a wide circle of friends, both male and female, and we urge them to ring us here and contact us, and we treat whatever they say with the utmost discretion.
OK, if you can help, here's the number. 081 811 8181. 081 811 8181. Or you can call the local incident room, that's 0492 518 383. 0492 518 383.